everyone. Welcome to the AI Cloud Essentials podcast of CoreWeaves. I'm Lisa Martin, your host for the next couple of days. We are live. GTC, this is day 2. We are in, as you can see behind me, the buzz of the event. This gives you a little bit of a glimpse of the energy at GTC. It is electric. I'm so thrilled to be joined by Chen Goldberg. She's the EVP of Product and Engineering at CoreWeave. We're going to be talking to you a little bit about what Chen has been talking about with the audience, what she's been hearing, and the overall partnership strafing with NVIDIA and CoreWeave. And it's so great to have you on the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So this is day 2.
Yes.
The energy yesterday was off the charts. People are describing this as the AI Super Bowl, a carnival, the heartbeat of AI. Tell me a little bit, you were on stage with Corey yesterday. What were some of the things that you were sharing and what stuck out to you in terms of what the audience is really absorbing?
So this is for me the second time as part of CoreWeave that we are presenting at GTC. And the big change, right? If you think about last year, there's a lot of uncertainty. The things around like how inference will be, what will be the size of the models, can you create applications with AI? And what we've seen over the past 12 months had been mind-blowing. And everybody, at least here, noticed that. And I think that's, for our perspective, like the most exciting thing is that we, instead of just like talking about like basic education, we're talking about how can you move from experimentation to production?
Right.
What do you need to do? How do you bring folks on board? As an engineering leader, there's also a lot of conversation of productivity and the tools you are using. There are so many things that have changed over these 12 months, and that's really amazing.
You speak in, in AI, we speak of like 6-month, 3-month, 12-month timeframes because it is moving. I can't describe the speed. It's amazing. But yesterday in Jensen's keynote was NVIDIA Heart CoreWeave.
Yes.
I got chills just seeing that. And then when Jensen came by the booth, I heard him say to you and the leaders just some very genuine things. Talk about the expansion, the deepening of the NVIDIA CoreWeave relationship and what that will enable customers to do to get from what you said, experimentation to production.
That was definitely a very special moment for us as well. And we thank Jensen for that because it was a recognition of the hard work that the entire CoreWeave team and our customers and the partners and everybody that trusted in us went through. Because starting from everybody thinks of us as like a GPU reseller and other things,
Yes.
and then recognition that we are leading in this space and being the AI cloud was amazing. And really, candidly, NVIDIA has been an amazing partner, customer. We are their customer as well. And I would say that there are like a couple of things that really work well between our two companies. One, we are really leaning in. Okay, we believe in AI. We have a very similar vision, and that's really helped. And we are really focused on customers together. The second thing that I think is really critical, we talk about how our customers want to experiment. We like to experiment. Okay, I think all of us as people, we need to be humble and knowing like, hey, we're not great at predicting the future, but if we experiment and we see signals and we move fast,
Yes.
we get to great results. And NVIDIA also has that kind of culture. And we are both really wanting to build the best products. And that actually what led, we had a big announcement last month. And, the media, I think, definitely cut the investment part, right? The $1 billion amount. But there were more things there that made me really excited.
Tell me.
One thing was, of course, us using CPUs now so Jensen in his keynote, he talked about expanding new platforms. So expanding from just GPUs to also CPU. And the other thing that we were really excited about is 2 things. One is the collaboration. It was actually telling the world how our teams have been collaborating on producing reference architecture and improving products. So that was one part. And the second part was really about us getting into the world and offering our services and our software to other people in the industry outside of even CoreWeave Cloud. We started that with the acquisition we made with Weights and Biases, which is already a multi-cloud, but having more and more cross-cloud solutions is something that we plan to invest more in.
And that's what customers are demanding. You talked about basically the customer obsession and that symbiosis that you share with NVIDIA. You said something yesterday on LinkedIn, I stalked you, and I wanted to get your thoughts behind it. You were speaking with Corey, and you said GTC this year, 2026, is about the next great leap. Tokens powering robots, energy grids, scientific discovery. I love that. You said that leap needs a factory behind it. Talk about NVIDIA as that factory and how CoreWeave is an enabler of that.
Back again, this year, what Jensen was talking on stage, and also what we hear from people around us, is that in most companies, because the tools, by the way, have gotten so great, they start seeing value. Okay, so yesterday on stage, we had, for example, a person from Mercado Libre. So Sebastian from Mercado Libre, he joined us and he was telling the audience how they are planning to reimagine their search capabilities in their e-commerce platform. But even before doing that, he was talking about how even with small experimentation, they've been getting amazing results already. And what I love about it is, like downstairs, we have like a physical AI demo. So you see in different industry, whether it's health, finance, e-commerce, media, a lot of areas where we see starting from small experimentation to bigger opportunities. And that's really what NVIDIA is talking about. And part of what I think NVIDIA, again, was really highlighting, Jensen was highlighting yesterday, that it's not just NVIDIA on its own. Jensen has been really investing in building an ecosystem.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that. I was actually part of the cloud transformation in the industry, and the ecosystem was key to that. And I think Jensen is definitely recognizing, and we are participating across the board, from developer tools to researcher tools to applications to infrastructure, and just building that momentum, that flywheel that creates that innovation.
Yes. Well, the validation, the recognition that you were talking about from Jensen, but also to your point, and I talk about this on TV all the time, is NVIDIA is not doing this alone. They are synonymous with AI. Even people locally around here that are Uber drivers are asking me about, and they know AI. They see Jensen, AI. But it's the ecosystem, and NVIDIA seems to really respect that and acknowledge it. Obviously, with the core NVIDIA hardcore was great there. But in terms of the differentiation, there's a lot of companies here. The energy at this conference, I've been to a lot of them, is next level. But there's a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of me too, but a lot of people are saying we're the AI cloud. What makes CoreWeave really stand out as the essential cloud for AI in 2026 and beyond?
I think that a year ago, people were not sure that we need an AI cloud. But now, folks that once they are trying to experiment more, they see there is a need. One of the things, and maybe I can tell you why I joined CoreWeave. So before CoreWeave, I was part of Google Cloud and working on building that cloud native ecosystem. And back at the day, when we talked about the value of the cloud, it wasn't just enough to move to the cloud, right? A lift and shift. There was a change of your ecosystem. You had to change the way you do tooling, how you develop, how you deploy, how you manage. And when I started experimenting and experiencing more of these new type of workloads, it felt similar, but actually much bigger. Bigger opportunity to reimagine how cloud should look like. And I think that's the most unique thing about CoreWeave, that from the get-go, right? If you talk with the founders, that's what they were trying to do, okay? It was not like a me too. Peter, our CTO, they took a step back and said like, okay, what are the hard problems we need to solve? They didn't just look at the other reference architecture, they actually built from scratch. And there's something that we are doing very differently than others, and that's what really delivered the results. I think the way that I think it's easy to understand, there are like probably 3 categories that we are doing differently. The first one is that we are started with a vertically integrated stack. Okay, you now see some of the folks announcing it, but it's like they're trying to retrofit that vertical integration.
Huge difference, retrofitting versus purpose-built. Yes.
What we are doing, we understand that the complexity of the stack is huge. And in order to manage that, you need to allow flexibility and quick decisions across the stack, and knowing how to react to events, lower the stack. So we like saying from metal to model, from metal to job, and bringing all of that information and really creating a new way to operate a cloud stack in the AI era. We differentiate with capabilities like mission control that are both reactive and proactive in solving customer problems. So that would be one. The second part, that even though we were thinking about an integrated stack, we are still looking for opportunities to optimize specific problems or bottlenecks. And again, we don't try to solve for everything. We are really, really focused. So if you think about AI workloads, one of the challenges is you want to make sure that GPUs are with high utilization. They are very expensive, a very important resource. So we are building, for example, specific solutions that will bring more data into the GPU with our own distributed caching mechanism, or building a new solution for orchestration of workloads. For example, again, for the technical audience folks here that are familiar with Slurm. Slurm is a known industry standard for HPE workload, high-performing workloads. But what we've done, we've created a solution that brings those workloads into the cloud-native era. And the last point, which maybe that's really brings us back to where we started, we know when we talk with our customers that speed of experimentation is the most important thing. And I'm a believer that we cannot predict the future. So how can we increase the signals that people see? Okay, how quickly can I experiment, iterate, and see what I need to go? And so we have a lot of investment on that, both from an infrastructure perspective, but also on toolings, like with the W&B models and Weave, just giving those signals that allow our customers to make decisions faster and with confidence.
That key word is confidence. Because the speed is just accelerating. It's not going to slow down. But one of the things you said when we were preparing for this conversation was it's not just GPUs alone. So walk me through the CoreWeave stack. You started to allude to it. Take that apart for the technical folks and explain where the differentiation lies and where you're really enabling customers to build the AI infrastructure from scratch to power their businesses.
And thank you so much for asking it. I think that we are using a lot of jargon all the time. And people don't always understand what does it actually mean to build a cloud? How does it look like? So first of all, there is of course the physical infrastructure, okay? And there is already, just on that layer, there's a lot of new challenges that appear in the AI era, from a lot of power consumption, cooling needs, and there's a lot of work that our team is doing around power, efficiency, space, liquid cooling, and just making sure that we build, and of course security across the stack, that we innovate in that space. But then on top of that, there is actually different layers of the stack. You know, when we say infrastructure, we should all think about starting with what you call infrastructure as a service. Very simple: compute, storage, and network. What's been very interesting when you move from the cloud 1.0 to cloud 2.0 is that in the cloud 1.0 era, the goal was to make infrastructure, specifically compute, storage, and network, boring. Okay. I'm as a developer, I'm as a business owner,
I should not think about it.
Should not care about that, right? And that's been my journey in the industry, making that a reality with technologies like Kubernetes.
Make it invisible.
Make it invisible. Make the infrastructure boring. You can like Google that, and you will see like those kind of quotes. And I think we've actually done a great job in the industry of creating technologies that have done that. However, what's happening right now, and that's exactly what Jensen was talking about yesterday, is that the workloads, the applications, they care about the compute, storage, and network. Okay, because the amount of data that has to go on the network is impacting the latency. And now let's say I have an agent. This is no longer, it can be a mission critical workload that we need someone to immediately respond. Or if we have video generation, right, it cannot be lagging. And you think about storage, how quickly can I scale? How do I get the data? How quickly can I load things? And from a compute perspective, not only I want to get the best utilization, we actually have lots of workloads, a lot of models that are now running not on a one node or 10 nodes, but sometimes 10,000s of nodes.
Wow, huge.
And that creates a lot of complexity in that stack, and we have been innovating in that area. And then on top of that, we have new inference services and training services, right? Because as a developer, I have new tasks
Yes.
that I need to perform. So I need new tools, a new ecosystem. And maybe on top of that, I think the thing that really excites me the most is our entire, what we call our, when we think about serverless, it's not about making the infrastructure boring, but helping our customers rely on us in making some of those decisions. So one of the things that I'm really excited about is the tools that we are providing at like what we call that serverless layer, where we are not trying to really make the infrastructure disappear, but we're trying to help customers to rely on us.
Yeah.
Okay, and let us do the heavy lifting in making those tough decisions. And we've been announcing this week a new tool in our serverless RL, which is reinforcement learning. And in that space, if before a lot of this experimentation required simulation data, now we're allowing customers to use production tracing in order to train the agents to get better automatically. So that would be one example of a tool.
In production, specifically.
Yes, in production.
That's the key.
Or for example, we have a new customer, a client, that they are using our inference service. So they're a customer, they're a partner as well. And they are actually building a coding solution that allows them to leverage our platform.
Okay.
And maybe, you asked about differentiation. I should have led with that. We offer all this new stuff without compromising security and resiliency and production ready.
Absolutely
and we take
critical.
a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
And that's actually would be probably the number one reason why customers come to us.
And second to last question, you talked about some of the challenges customers have, technical challenges, power, cooling, space, capacity. What are some of the business challenges that you're proud that CoreWeave helps its customers to just eliminate?
There are many challenges, and we were just I had a customer meeting today, and they said every time we solve a hard problem, a new hard problem pops up.
Yep.
So it feels like that's the business that we are in. But the thing that I feel like we are most helping customers, one is speed of innovation.
Yeah.
The idea that our customers are telling us that on day one they can be productive, that they have the signals that they can make the right decisions, that we are not wasting their time, okay, that their team is productive is really, really important.
That's also a competitive advantage for them.
Yes, for sure. The second thing is that we do see our customers as partner. I think it's a privilege for us to partner with them and enable that next gen innovation.
Absolutely.
And it looks differently.
Yeah,
okay, It looks in a way that our customers, we're not just talking about the platform or what services, we are talking with them about what challenges do they have?
Yeah.
How can we help? And if they need us, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be there to help them with whatever they need. And as part of that state of mind, it also impacts of how we support our customers. We're actually not really like a traditional support process. The way we are working, we believe in engineering to engineering relationship, because our customers are sophisticated. They have the hardest problem. They want to know that they can quickly find solutions. So we really automated and managed that process. We call it direct to expert. And we have engineers working with our customers day in, day out on the hardest problems.
Speaking the same language. And that makes such a huge difference from a differentiation perspective, that really getting in there and allowing those customers to deliver to their customers what they expect. Last question. You said you're not a mind reader, can't predict the future, but a year from now, GTC 2027, what do you think we might see?
That's it. I keep thinking about it. If someone would have told me that 2025 would look the way it is, I would not have believed it. Okay, there's been so many things that happened that surprised all of us from an advancement perspective. However, I do expect that we will see an explosion of use cases, and more and more people will speak the AI language. It's so powerful, and the tools are becoming so accessible
Yes.
that I think that we will see less people be worried about it, because what we are seeing today, that the people that lean in find that as their superpower.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Leaning in. Chen, thank you so much for an outstanding conversation. We appreciate you taking some time to be on the podcast and really share what you're talking about, what you're hearing from customers, the strength of the NVIDIA partnership, but also other partnerships in that ecosystem that really make AI accessible for customers. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
It's
having
so
me.
fun. For Chen Goldberg, I'm Lisa Martin. You're watching AI Cloud Essentials podcast live from GTC. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next podcast.